right, Sports Talker Nation, welcome back. Once again, it is your host, the G-Man. Today we're here to talk about the Houston Texans as we continue our 2015 NFL year in review. I will admit that I'm an unabashed Houston Texans fan, have been since they came into the league. I like them even more now because I absolutely love J.J. Watt. I think he's everything you want your superstar to be. I love his attitude. I think he's a great pitch man. I like everything about the guy, but I digress. That's not what we're here to talk about. Let's start with what went right for the Houston Texans in 2015. A lot went right, but not very early. Early on, it looked like after their run through Hard Knocks, which if you didn't watch it, was probably the worst of the Hard Knocks because they're kind of a milquetoast team other than O'Brien, their coach, and J.J. Watt himself. They started off terribly. Their quarterback play, which everyone knew was going to be a question, didn't turn out to be a question, turned out to be an abject disaster early. So that really hurt them. But to their credit, their defense finally realized, okay, it's going to be on our shoulders. Brian Hoyer settled down, who, again, I have to admit, I'm a Hoyer guy. I do believe he has the ability to win in the NFL. I don't think he can win games for you, but I think he's a more than capable game manager. With a defense like they had, I thought he would have been better. Now, his performance in the playoffs may have shook my belief in that a little bit, but I still think he can win. So what went right was they finally jettisoned Ryan Mallett, who's a total douchebag, who really tried to torpedo their team after he wasn't named a starter. They turned it over to Hoyer. Hoyer did fairly well. He did have to get pulled early in week one, which was a huge mistake by O'Brien. So that definitely went right for them. I love DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know anybody who doesn't love DeAndre Hopkins. He catches everything. He is fast as lightning. He's smart. He seems like a genuinely nice kid. He's a little bit of a diva, but he's a wide receiver, so you come to expect that. So that also went right for them from an offensive perspective. From a defensive perspective, they have J.J. Watt. You can cover a lot of mistakes with a guy like J.J. Watt. And I'll tell you that they have better cornerbacks, and Johnson, their rookie, was much better than people expected. Their defensive backfield, I would consider in the top 10 to 12 in the league. You pair that with J.J. Watt and Merciless and all these other guys that they have up front, not counting Jadeveon Clowney, who has never been what some people expected him to be, although I honestly always expected him to be exactly this. Their defense is strong. If they can get anything out of Clowney, it would be a big deal. So what went wrong? What went wrong? Well, Arian Foster got hurt early and then got hurt late, and their running game suffered dramatically because of it. And it was more hurtful to them than it would be for most teams because Foster was such the heart of their offense. Everything based off of him. It wasn't just that he was the only guy who ran the ball when he was healthy. He also caught a ton of passes out of the backfield. He was a constant threat so that you couldn't just double team down the field. You had to have someone up because he would catch the ball and turn a flat pass into a 25-yard gain. He was a very talented guy. They did cut ties with him this year, and they're finally done with him, but that was a big problem for them. So the fact that they made the playoffs is very impressive. Clowney is another thing that went terribly wrong for them. He just, I'm not sure if it's that he doesn't care, if his body can't facilitate what his muscles can do because he's always dinged, he's always hurt. He never has shown the desire to overcome. I mean, J.J. Watt played with a broken hand, and turns out he needed to have hernia surgery, and he was a disaster physically, and he still managed to get 15 sacks, knock balls down, and play almost every play. If they could just rub a little bit of that off onto Clowney, they would do well. They are a little old in the middle of the defensive tackle front, so that's going to hurt them as they move forward. But all in all, their defense was very good. Their offense needs to find a second receiver. Jalen Strong, they drafted, really just didn't step up to the plate. They need to, so they're going to need some help with receiver. They're going to need some help on the offensive line like everyone else does. But a big tackle there and a running back. You don't draft running backs early now simply because there's no value in drafting that position. But I do think if they could draft a running back in the third round, even if a Henry fell to the third round for them, maybe they're the team that in the first round, say he falls, they go with a Zeke Elliott. I think Zeke Elliott reminds me very much of Arian Foster, so I think that might be a good fit. But they do need to do that, some offensive line help, and I guess provide Clowney a little support behind him because I'm not a huge Cushing guy either. So they could use some linebacker support as well. But I do like O'Brien. I think they'll draft a developmental quarterback to go with the guys they've signed in the offseason. And if they can get that offensive line help, I think they'll be in good position. I think they're a 10-6 team. I think they can certainly repeat their success, and I trust their coach. So with your 2015 NFL review on the Houston Texans, I'm the G-Man, and I am out.